Hi everyone, welcome to Third Eye Scoop. This is a brand new channel. I have another channel called Tarot with Martina for lighter stuff, but I'm in the middle of a series called The Devil Wears Fame. It's sparked off by, I guess, P. Diddy, and up until now I haven't been called to read P. Diddy. I've got about 20 celebrities in mind, and I've been muscle testing to see who the priority read is, and he hasn't shown up until today. So far I've done Will Smith, Jay-Z and Usher, and today is P. Diddy's turn. So perhaps there was information we needed from those other readings to, I guess, get context around this one. But we'll wait and see. I've already selected a flower essence for either our energy, his energy, or a combination. It just helps me tune into his energy and the reading that we need to witness. And this is walnut. I guess it's very hard, but the meaning is change, link breaker, menopause, puberty, moving, letting go of the past, protection. Protection from outside influences and energies. Helps you adjust to major changes. So I'm just going to take some of that before I start for the benefit of myself and for you guys watching. And we'll interpret the meaning as we go. So how these readings go, if you haven't watched any of the others, we're looking at P. Diddy's energy currently, what his energy was like before he was famous, what's his energy been like since he's been famous, what was his soul contract, does he have karmic debt to pay this lifetime, and then of course, because these leaders or these archetypes, leaders not the right word I don't think, but these famous archetypes, why are they on the world stage in this time, space, reality? I believe they're here to teach us a lesson in one way or another. So they do have a soul contract to fulfill, and they may have come in to serve a darker side of reality, but either way, one way or another, they have a collective teaching, so we'll look at that. And then we'll get an oversight of actually what is his energy? Is he working, which team is he working for, the light or the dark? And then is there any hidden influences with a hidden agenda around him, whether he's conscious of that or not conscious of that? We'll see if we can get messages around that. And also, what's the outcome for him? And even get a little quick snapshot at the end of, in this moment in time, what messages can we get right now about him? And then we'll see how we go. So these readings are quite lengthy, but I'm trying to get them down a bit more faster. But I don't love to rush energy readings, but I appreciate that not everyone has all the time in the world to watch me ramble on. So yeah, let's begin and see how we go. I'm also going to start with an essential oil to tap into the emotional component of the reading. And yeah, this also helps bring in all the senses. I've got a lot of protection around me. I come into these readings with an intention to not just, why are these all coming out? I come to these readings with a strong intention to only see what we need to see. I feel like I said, they're here to show us something, and we're trying to lift the frequency, right? And so this isn't really just for gossip, but it's about trying to harness and calibrate the frequency that's around us, because I think things are going to get darker before they get lighter, and we need to be witnessing that on some level to clear it. So we stand protected and we stand strong, and we hold on to as much sovereignty as we can at any given time. And that's the work. And so that's the intention really for these readings. So let's get an oil for P. Diddy. Two. Juniper berry, purify, dislodges, detoxifies, disperses negative fear, shackles, and pain. Interesting. Mandarin, sweetness, can quieten, soothe, instill gentle healing. 29, which is 11, and 22. So interesting numbers to show up. And here's P. Diddy. He's Scorpio energy, and he's life path 4. For those of you who are interested, it's interesting. The 4 readings that I've had are 2 4s and 2 5s. So interesting energies. But let's not preempt anything, and let's start with the reading. So I'm going to pull 9 cards of each deck, starting with the archetypes. And I'll pull all of the cards first before I start to read them. And see what energies are around him. Okay, so we start. Before I start, let's get the oils. 22, 29. Smells a little bit like gin in Mandarin. So much lighter. Okay, so current energy, the eternal child, soul contract, the box. What's interesting about these cards and using the same decks for all the readings is that there's some overlaps of some of the cards, which is interesting. Okay, the father, the cave, wow, the starborn, the underworld, Kairos, the thread, Anima Mundi, let's just get these in camera. A lot of overlapping cards. He's sharing a lot of energies with Usher and Diddy. My camera died. I lost the beginning of the reading, so I'm just going to try and get back into the flows. Okay, so eternal child energy. I feel like he's come in with a lot of void. He can't be satisfied. It's like spoiled child syndrome. It's he needs everything. He needs it now. He wants it now. He expects it now, and it doesn't matter what he garnishes in this life, he's never satisfied. It's like live hard, die young. That's why it's gone from money to fame to crime to drugs, all of it, like women, sex, and then now obviously even darker, you know, nothing was enough, and his appetite to achieve it has never had a stop button. It's like go, go, go. It's just churning inside him, like kind of like psychopath energy. The void is too much to handle, so it always has an appetite. He's almost like in shackles to this negative vibration. But he actually came in with a lower frequency anyway. He was given another version to incarnate in this life, to help box him in, to help come back into center, to help find his way to the light. But it had to come with limitations. But he's taken it in the opposite direction. And again, he's kind of fallen into old patterns where there's never enough expansiveness, and it destabilizes him. And it's like the karma he was supposed to clear was like have this balance of a strong masculine energy, and, you know, be a leader, be a protector, but be in balance of it. And of course, I believe we all pick our parents on some level before we get here, and he also picked a father who was also a bit of a gangster. He had a quite notorious father, and he died quite young. So he lived in the legacy of his father, or the urban legend of his father. And so he didn't have that guidance, but that was also like a training wheels for him to cut his teeth into being what a father could be. I know he has multiple kids now, but again, it's gone off into this like negative spin-off. Like for some reason, he just couldn't harness it to the light. He's got starborn, so this is before he was famous. And it's a lot like Usher came in this placement as well, starborn. It's like he never really had the opportunity either. The nurture didn't happen. And I can see that again with the mother energy. So I wonder if he saw himself in Usher. And I feel like maybe he took Usher under his wing in that sort of hurt people mentality. Maybe unconscious. Maybe he thought he was trying to be paternal in the beginning. Or maybe he tried to believe that that's what his intentions were. But it was a cracked plan anyway, and yeah, so in some way they've mirrored each other on that level. But I do think Diddy just has, I don't think Diddy could master balance at all. Like there's just no evidence of that in the cards. I feel like with a cave energy, this is what he's here to teach us. I feel like a lot of us look at this lifestyle and part of us are envious of what all this abundance would mean, how it would feel, how the other half live. But now we're in this cave going, ugh, if it comes with all those tentacles, if it comes with all of this, like, well, no way, like, I don't care about money, fame, power, like, no good happen. There's no Hollywood ending to any of these stories. It's what we're coming to see, and our eyes are opening. But at the moment, we're sort of hovering in the dark a bit, almost like us watching this reading, or even me trying to tap into this reading. It's like we're doing it gingerly. It's like we kind of need to see it. A little bit of us are intrigued to see it, but at the same time, we're scared of what we are going to see, and are we going to be able to cope with the reality that will be bestowed upon us when things start to come to the light. And so it's an incremental, it's almost like we're preparing our own mind to have, I guess, the blindfold ripped off of us. It's, I mean, these energies have been dark, so they do come with a bit of a trigger warning. But when we get to witness all the darkness, that's when we grow as well to the light. So it's like, I mean, on some level, it's a divine plan, if you like. Not everything is going according to plan on some level, but some of us, we kind of try to calibrate that because we're like, how can there be so much darkness and pain in someone's life, you know, and the victims around him, potential alleged, all alleged for entertainment purposes only. But yeah, there's a lot of heavy forces around him, and I think it's a little too far gone, obviously. But Kairos, he's working in other dimensions. He's part of the team that understands that this isn't just the 2024 plan. This is about, it's about the end game to master and consume the light. But there's a denial to it. There's a denial to the sense of his human side of it going, he's not coming to the understanding that there's going to be a reckoning and that he's also going to, you know, leave this earth. He's kind of in denial about that. He feels like he can drink from the eternal youth cup, and that means in more ways than one. And if you know, you know. But I feel like this with Eternal Child, this father figure that he's kind of corrupted and is sort of projecting onto other areas of his life, not just within his own nest, but because of his brokenness as well, coming into this world. And it's led him with no boundaries, no integrity, no right from wrong, nature, nurture, if you like. But either way, he's got to the underworld energy. And I don't really think this card needs too much explaining, but it's really the darkest of dark. Like, we're talking evil, we're talking not just our shadow self and a dark night of the soul. Like, it's so ingrained and embedded in him that I actually think he's being severed off anyway. Things are just inverted, you know, like he's so far down into the depths of vibration that I think this thread represents what we hope that somewhere along the line evil can resurrect itself for the highest good and somehow come towards the light. But I'm not sure in this case that that's, sometimes it's just, yeah, evil is evil, you know. Also, with a possible outcome, it's Anima Mundi, and that's all there is. And this came up in Jay-Z's reading. It's got this like real ritual feel to it, this card. It's like he's still playing with, I guess, black magic, I want to say. Like, he's still in the process of trying to master it from another dimension, whether he's operating it consciously or he's being operated more than likely by other forces around him. But let's see what the cards say. But that's just the first layer. Okay, actually I'm just going to take some more of this walnut. Link breaker, moving to let go of the past protection, helps adjust to major changes. This could be our energy here, you know, like we're gonna almost have to white knuckle some of this stuff that comes out. But I still believe that even though all of this stuff is happening in the collective, our role, our part is to just look after ourselves, keep our energy strong, our boundaries intact, do the work, you know, get out in nature, control your own self-regulate. It's keeping your boundaries and your vessel clear in whatever way that feels good to you. So there's no one strategy, but whatever makes you feel good, do more of it, because you don't want any of these frequencies to, yeah. Okay, can we have a card for the eternal child for Diddy? Herbalist, faith healer, midwife, doctor. Bottom of the deck, ascetic. He may be struggling health-wise. He may be going withdrawals. He may be trying to recreate drugs. Maybe he's even trying to source them. But he's in there over a month now, I think. So maybe the well's running dry. But yeah, it looks like he's definitely needing some medical attention on some level. Or trying to create his own medicine. Show us the box. Water disaster, lost at sea, drowned, flood, tsunami, tropical storm. Yeah, I guess for lack of a better word or expression, like he did get lost at sea. He lost his way. He didn't work according to the brief he was given, and he somehow shipwrecked it or created an even bigger tsunami of karmic debt that he's going to have to pay in the future. So instead of even clearing some of that up in this lifetime, he's perpetuated it. He's made it worse. And yeah, but I guess for us, you know, that tsunami is going to, by him making it such an epic fuck up, for lack of a better expression too, the waves he created, or the tsunami he created for the rest of us, has almost not hijacked us, but it's like defibrillated us into reality, to wake up to all of this darkness instead of, you know, keeping or hiding in the cave or heads in the sand. It's like this tsunami has actually been quite medicinal for us, because, you know, water is such a cleanser that, like, it's toxic and as horrible as this really may potentially be, or the story that we're listening to, there is a purification to it. There is a sweetness for us. It can help with some of the healing, that even though we are going to be alarmed and alerted to all of this evil, on some level that means that the children aren't being forgotten, or the victims aren't being forgotten, and that finally their voices have been heard. And that's when it starts to gently heal, even though it always feels so much uglier in the beginning of all of that. But the purification part of it, it does dislodge our some of the evil in our lives. And it's like sunlight is the best antiseptic, right? Father. Banishment, military, Navy, Air Force, exiled, shunned, forced underground. Yeah, I mean, he, poverty, lower class. Yeah, I mean, he came into a life that was already, I mean, he already had a reputation just by being offspring to his father. Like, he already had a reputation, if you like. He already had shoes to fill, or shoes to be judged by. But it obviously definitely made him feel shame. It didn't elevate him in any way. And, you know, even with military, like, there is clues that he was sort of connected to either being a criminal informant or FBI or something. And instead of using all of those opportunities for good, he could have, yeah, he made a choice, I guess. Like they all have. They all had a choice in this situation with all the readings. Okay, the Starborn. The Starborn. Freemason, secret society, other. Struggles with appearance, femme fatale. I feel like that's his mother's energy. Prostitute, town beauty. Was Diddy sold? Was Diddy mixed up in, I mean, as a child, his mum, what's his connections or her connections? How did she, insanity, oh God. Yeah, obviously she's mentally ill, and that's not exactly been the best upbringing for Diddy. She seems to have had connections, possibly from the husband as well, the father. You know, birds of a feather flock together. So I feel like this happened long before he was famous as well. So definitely even within childhood. So he was already connected to the underworld, secret societies. And I guess that's why he was potentially targeted. But again, instead of being a strong patriarch, he chose differently. Kairos, caretaker, saintly, philanthropist, savior or hero, martyr. Servant, childcare, indentured servitude. When you're exposed to secret society or any sort of ritual work, you're already playing with, you're already aware of multi-dimensional living and practices. And he didn't use them for good. You know, anyone that practices any sort of magic, light or dark, knows the potential of the opposing force. And yeah. He became the wrong servant to the wrong master. Show me the cave. Burnt, branding, house fire, persecution, book burning. It kind of feels like cancel culture. I feel like we're going to start to learn, pirate. Yeah, we're going to take the value off celebrity worship. It's like we're just kind of burning it to the ground. Hollywood needs to go. All of this fake rhetoric, this outsourcing our own power and projecting it onto all of these celebrities, backing their branding, when sometimes, you know, we've got to be careful what we're consuming, what our brain and our hearts and our minds are consuming, because it's not always for our highest good, and that's what's coming to the light. That's why we're kind of hiding in our cave right now, because we're like, hang on a minute, what the absolute is going on? Because we've had childhood heroes. You know, our whole pop culture makeup is ingrained in a lot of this stuff. And so, I mean, it's even having fighting battles with politics now. So it's like all of these worlds are kind of becoming intertwined, and maybe they always were. It looks like they always have been, but we didn't know. We're like the last to know. And so now we're going to have to try and find ways to empower our own sovereignty, whatever that means to you. World War, Allied defender, Holocaust, Hiroshima, Allied invader. Yeah, he's not working for mankind. He's definitely on the other side, you know. Adventurer. The loss of life, figuratively speaking, for him is equal to some catastrophic disaster that we have potentially witnessed in the last century, in the sense that the numbers will never be really revealed. And maybe it's not about loss of life per se, but it's loss of soul, loss of life, loss of desire to live. You know, when you're traumatized or victimized people, the collateral damage affects everyone. It affects their families, it affects them, obviously, it affects the future, affects every relationship in their life. And it's, oh, God, it's so heavy. Show me the thread. Fall of civilization, greed, ignorance, corruption, indulgence. Bottom of the deck, destruction, Fool, destroyer. Like, none of these are good cards. You know, after my last 4 readings with this deck, and it was all these, like, I mean, it's been the perfect deck for these readings, but I was like, it was a new deck, so I wasn't fully familiar with all of the options, and I thought, I'm going to do my own reading today, so I did it, and I was like, God, I hope there's no, like, kidnap, like, all the bad cards, you know, and not to say, there was no evil cards in my reading, thank God, but I was thinking, maybe it's this deck, maybe it's just all dark, and, like, maybe yeah, so I just want to let you know that there is really good cards in this reading, and in this deck, it's not all bad, but not for these guys. These characters are getting all the bad, like the worst versions of everything. So here we are again with the thread, like greed, corruption, like this is the hidden agenda or forces that are working with him, and that he's in the depths of hell, and his whole life is in perspective is inverted, and he's not even probably trying to reach for the light. And that's because, yeah, he's being operated from higher dimensions too, and their end game is full of civilization. But when you're working with evil, or part of evil, or being evil, you don't respect any love or human life. So this is hard to understand, because as light workers, we always want to think that there's redemption and forgiveness and possibility to transmute that energy. And a big part of me believes that is true, but I think evil is evil. And yeah, that's getting harder and harder to maintain. Outcome for Diddy. I'm not going to read this card out loud. Outcome for Diddy. Instruction. I mean, this could be a few things. It could be literal. It could be cancel culture. It could be, you know, whatever these say on there. It could be the fact that it could be just happening in the energetic world. Maybe he's trying to do some witchcraft from prison, or maybe witchcraft is being played on him. Let's just leave that part for now as is. And let's go to tarot. So that's the second time my camera has shut off during this reading, and that doesn't happen often, let alone twice in one session. So I just had to clear some space, just clear the energy. Actually, let me just retune into the reading. Okay, guys, let's get back into tarot now. Let's see if we can get deeper messages, clearer messages, and stay 100% safe and protected. Okay, a card for the Eternal Child and Healer card for Diddy's current energy. 3 cards. 4 of discs. Looks like, literally looks like a cell, doesn't it? With like trying to, the door. Okay. 7 of discs. 7 of cups. Because he's out of control, because he can't control the outside world, he's still hoping that the seeds he sowed are going to still come to fruition. He's still under the illusion that he's protected by all of those multi-dimensional layers, this summoning of energy, these illusions or delusions that he's created for himself. He still feels that he's, I mean, he definitely is feeling more vulnerable, obviously, because he's lost his control. And it's almost like he has put a smoke signal up. I know that there was some sort of leaked audio between him and his son. So he's still trying his best to, in this physical world, control his dynamics. He's still trying to create a plan. It looks like there's 4 options he can go with. There's 4 potential people, 4 potential, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Blackmail? Is there 4 potential leads that he thinks he's got? He still feels he's holding some cards in his hands. So yeah, I still think he thinks he's going to be able to reap what he sowed. So yeah, he's still channeling this. He believes he's still in control. It's like he's been waiting to see what's happened, what's come out since he's been locked up. But because he's got the bandwidth is not the same, and his ability to project solutions is not the same, he's still been biding his time. Yeah, hanged man or hanged one. He's still hopeful that he's still got a dog in the fight. Tarot for the box. P. Diddy. Ace of Discs. Crone, which is the Hermit card. Yeah, he was misguided from the start. Even from the beginning of this incarnation, he was supposed to hear his calling, and the path had been decided, but he veered off. He didn't follow the signs. So it's not like he had a you know what? It's kind of weird what's dropping in, but I'm just going to say it anyway. It's like he came with the intention of this, like the soul contract, right? But the image of this baby in a crib, it's like, it was almost like kind of decided. It's like he had a soul contract, but somewhere in the incubation process or before his soul was, you know, had entered into this 3D world intact, the cracks were already there. And so before, when I was saying nature, nurture, and what was his influence of his mum, I would be interested to know, especially with this secret society card and this prostitute energy, I wonder if the mom was already dabbling in this world. And I would like to know what the connections are with the mom. The mom's got big energy coming through, and I wonder how involved is she? How linked up was she? Something about linked up, link breaker, change, protection. Protection from outside influences and energies. Yeah, it's maybe whatever she was messed up in during her pregnancy, or yeah, I mean, his connections to a lot of people, especially in the underworld, were already there from his father being a bit of a gangster. And yeah, I wonder if something happened in utero. me the cards of the Father. The Hangman and Son of Discs. It's kind of like what I was saying. I'm seeing the sun, especially the Son of Disc. I'm seeing these trees with the bullseye, where the target what he was supposed to do with his karmic debt. There was a game plan. There was a particular target, talking about the balance and bringing in a higher perspective for masculine energy. And I'm sort of linking into this birth canal again. It's like, yeah, something happened in utero that even the karmic debt wasn't able to get paid, and it lost its foothold. So something happened. He lost aim early on. Let's see. The Starborn Diddy, the Starborn Diddy. Priestess of Swords. I feel like it's mom's energy again. Like no heart. Eight of Wands. No emotion. Pure objective. Ruthless. Cold. Ice Maiden. So, I mean, even that nature, nurture, it didn't help in the end anyway. Nothing was going for him once he got here. There was no way to elevate his trajectory. He was guided by all sorts of sinister parties. I do think the mom dabbles. I really do think the mom dabbles in the dark arts. Show me Kairos. Diddy, show me Kairos. Daughter of Swords, Five of Cups. He was taught even from an early age. So even though his trajectory was kind of already set and he was already around unsaintly characters, mom included, he was kind of taught. He was taught how to dabble and conjure up energy and to manifest things into 3D. And it sounds like he did it by negative energy, right? But more than that, it's like Five of Cups is like past disappointments, or it's like he fed off the emotions of others, and that's how he harnessed it and yielded his energy early on. Emperor. Yeah, like he'd already anchored into this dominant male energy, toxic masculine energy. And it could have, I mean, there is like this kind of weird bond between him and his mom. And, you know, she could have forced him to be his surrogate partner in some kind. Well, you take that to the levels that, like, whatever. But, you know, there was a codependency there. A weird worship both ways. Too much of a unhealthy shackles. Again, there's like, yeah, there was a bond between them, and they fed off each other. Show me the thread for Diddy. Show me the thread for Diddy. Shaman of Cups. Oh, you know what vibes I'm getting with this card? It's like he's wearing a mask. So what he showed, that charisma, wasn't what was actually happening on the underneath, obviously. And look at this big cauldron of whatever elixir he's making. It's almost like he's preparing a batch for the masses. He's getting ready. It's almost like party vibes, right? It was like Priestess of Wands. Full of civilization, thread, yeah. He was well into it. You know, this has been going on for years. Like he became a master of this game. It's like he designed it. Even though he had a lot of dark forces projecting it forward for him, and he wasn't alone in this, he was definitely one of the head chefs, so to speak. I think he thought he was in control and he was the master. But with some of the other readings, he was definitely played as well. Priestess of Discs, Priestess of Cups. Some sort of power couple. I want to say it's bottom of the deck. Three of Wands. This is all alleged, completely for entertainment purposes. Everyone knows the game rules. They've all been playing the same game. They showed up in Jay-Z's reading. They're well into witchcraft and the dark arts. They know how to... There's a power couple at play, and this may be the objective. I don't see this as Diddy. They think they're protected. They think that they're above all this. They think they're gonna escape the consequence. That's why their end game is potentially linked to this. Wow. He's being manipulated for sure. Diddy is getting his comeuppances one way or another. But I feel like let's just get a couple of cards for the underworld, or okay, if let's go to the underworld. 10 of Discs. Yeah. He had all the power, the money. He had his posse, he had his legacy, but his legacy now is almost going to be probably one of the worst people in this consciousness. Another confirmation. The legacy he leaves behind, it will certainly not be revered like he projected it would be. He thought he'd get away with all of this, you know. He thought he'd get out alive with all of this stuff. Take it to his grave of being this huge legacy. But he's going to be remembered for, well, he's going to be remembered how he's like what he deserves. He'll get what he deserves, and that's how he'll be remembered. Show me the cave, Diddy. Oh wow, the repeating cards as well. High Priestess. All of these people I'm reading have all sort of ended up with the fact that we have to take our sovereignty back individually, but we also have to nurture the people around us and speak the truth. This is happening in every neighborhood all across the world, and we have to speak it into reality, or we almost have to have an invocation of I do not consent. So even if we think we can't fight these battles because we're nobodies and, you know, we don't have the reach, we have to use our collective consciousness, our collective heart, our collective minds to project the new world that we want. And certainly by saying I do not consent. Whenever you see something, I mean, I don't want to say just bad or evil, but sometimes you have to win these wars millimeters at a time. And so you can't stay quiet. You have to, when you see it, call it out. Responsibly, obviously, but even, you know, working within another dimension, you know, meditating or, you know, in nature, just project a healing around your neighborhood. Intuitively project your divine knows, you know, I do not consent. I do not consent to that. Even if you see bad, if you see a fight on the street or an argument or whatever, or you feel something unjust, just in your mind say, I do not consent. It's like, it's giving yourself the power to invoke a thought, a feeling, and an energetic emission. And if we all did that, if we all just, whenever we see something we don't agree with or we think is wrong, calling it out, but you can call it out in your mind. It's just as powerful as well. And if we all did that collectively every day, it'd be interesting to see how the landscape changes. Okay. So I guess I'm getting the feeling that Diddy is going to meet his maker in one way or another. Certainly, obviously, in the outcome, there's forces working against him. He was part of that end of civilization plan in some way. That's also a metaphor. So he knew what he was doing, but he was doing it anyway. He was building his legacy. He was doing it out of dark energy. He kind of was born into it. Some sort of hemorrhage along the way, something happened where his soul contract got interrupted, and it wasn't for his highest good. We still get the best result out of it, because even though this is hard to see, we get to correct it. We get to take our power back because of witnessing it. We always grow from contrast. So on some level, we have to be grateful for this lesson. There's definitely this link to his childhood, but this eternal child, this desire to have eternal youth, and whatever consequences that means. But he will never outsmart his ending. We all don't. So we all have to have that come to Jesus moment. Our reckoning is always going to be upon us one way or another. I just want to get a few cards for his current next steps, just to give us some insight. What's on his way? What more can we find out about Diddy in real life terms? It's crazy how all these cards are repeating. He's definitely wondering what this power couple are up to, because he can't decide. He's trying to figure it out in his head. He's trying to come up with a plan. He's still waiting to see what the outcome of it is. He's kind of lost his control. It's freaking him out. He's coming up with all the options. He's still doing all the algorithms. He's trying to work the magic behind the scenes. He's trying to do all the algorithms. He's just in constant, you know, he's still trying to hold his power, but he's going to lose his power and his street cred and all of that, because I feel like this power couple think they're getting away with it. They're dodging bullets, and I think they've already made their choice. They're like, see you later, it's all yours. But I don't think they're naive to think that there isn't a kill switch somewhere along the line, you know, where they release the evidence, or he has his own evil plan of exposure to all. So he's just waiting to see whose friends are, who can he count on, who's still in his pack. They all made a pack at some time ago. You don't go into this level of evil without some sort of compliance. Okay, let's end it for us with this a few cards just to close the reading for us. So he's still trying to do the algorithms. That's where his energy is right now, in prison. He doesn't know who's going to sell him out. He's waiting. But the longer he's waiting, the less he's getting clear on actually how he's going to work this. He's starting to get deluded and time is running out. So before I get some final messages, let's just send out some love and light to all of the victims involved in these stories. And we try and collectively lift the vibration of Earth as best we can. You know, thoughts have power, so let's just control our own thoughts. You know, regulate our emotions, stay strong in our sovereignty, and remember, you do not consent. And by saying that, you're also signaling to any darker energies that there's no available space for them to host within your energy field. So let's close it out with a reading for P. Diddy's. For us. Let's do it for us. What do we need to hear? How do we project a future or something positive for the future? A better day always comes. You will find that it is necessary to let things go simply for the reason that they are heavy. Kind people are the best kind of people. And that's you, that's us. And that's kind of really just what I was saying. We want to project a higher vibration to Earth right now, to Mother Gaia. We want to have an ascended version. And we think we're powerless, but that's the brainwashing. That's the trap. The trap is that they're working within the invisible world all the time, but for, what's the word I'm looking for? For the fall of civilization. We can be doing the same sort of magic for the rise of humanity. So with that, I thank you for watching, and I see you in the next reading.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thanks a million.